All persons having any business before this honourable court now draw nigh and give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Queen.
Yes.
Admission of lawyers. Carolyn Araboglian.
May it please the court, I move that Carolyn Araboglian be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Carolyn Araboglian be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sophia Desiree Leslie Buhalis.
May it please the court, I move that Sophia Desiree Leslie Buhalis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sophia Desiree Leslie Buhalis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lauren Brain.
May it please the court, I move that Lauren Brain be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lauren Brain be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nicholas Samuel Bruno.
May it please the court, I move that Nicholas Samuel Bruno be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nicholas Samuel Bruno be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Catherine Lucy Campbell.
May it please the court, I move that Catherine Lucy Campbell be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Catherine Lucy Campbell be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yining Kao.
May it please the court, I move that Yining Kao be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yining Kao be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rishal Chand.
May it please the court, I move that Rishal Chand be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rishal Chan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yiyun Sil Choi.
May it please the court, I move that Yeon Sil Choi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yeon Sil Choi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Vincent Chong.
May it please the court, I move that Vincent Chong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Vincent Chong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Oksana Alexandrovna Churalina.
May it please the court, I move that Oksana Alexandrovna Churalina be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Oksana Alexandrovna Churalina be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alec Chris Comino.
May it please the court, I move that Alec Chris Camino be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alec Chris Camino be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Oscar William Doughty.
May it please the court, I move that Oscar William Doughty be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Oscar William Doughty be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hilary Alice Eddy.
May it please the court, I move that Hilary Alice Eddy be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hilary Alice Eddy be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah L. Ahmed.
May it please the court, I move that Sarah L. Ahmed be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarah L. Ahmed be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Daniela Mary Foley.
May it please the court, I move that Daniela Mary Foley be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Daniela Mary Foley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Bella Gooch.
May it please the court, I move that Bella Gooch be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Bella Gooch be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Brittany Lee Goodman.
May it please the court, I move that Brittany Lee Goodman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Brittany Lee Goodman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Osif Hadid.
May it please the court, I move that Orsef Hadid be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Orsef Hadid be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Oliver Jensen Hanrahan.
May it please the court, I move that Oliver Jensen Hanrahan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Oliver Jensen Hanrahan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nicholas Graham Hayes.
May it please the court, I move that Nicholas Graham Hayes be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nicholas Graham Hayes be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Charlotte Hoffman.
May it please the court, I move that Charlotte Hoffman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Charlotte Hoffman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Laura Jasmine Hope.
May it please the court, I move that Laura Jasmine Hope be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Laura Jasmine Hope be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sally Elizabeth Hughes.
May it please the court, I move that Sally Elizabeth Hughes be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sally Elizabeth Hughes be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
James Douglas Keith.
May it please the court, I move that James Douglas Keith be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let James Douglas Keith be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Juliana Jihon Kim.
May it please the court, I move that Juliana Ji-hyun Kim be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Juliana Ji-yeon Kim be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Isha Kumar.
May it please the court, I move that Isha Kumar be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Isha Kumar be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jonathan Cherkhim Lamb.
May it please the court, I move that Jonathan Cherkhim Lamb be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Jonathan Cherkhim Lamb be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emily Margaret Layson.
May it please the court, I move that Emily Margaret Layson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emily Margaret Layson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tongtaek Benson Lee.
May it please the court, I move that Tontaek Benson Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tongtaek Benson Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jitong Liu.
May it please the court, I move that Zitong Lu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Zitong Lu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Michaela Andrea Manila.
May it please the court, I move that Michaela Andrea Manila be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Michaela Andrea Manila be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Disha Samirbhai Mehta.
May it please the court, I move that Disha Samibhai Mehta be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Disha Samirbhai Mehta be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Taylor June Veronica Morgan.
May it please the court, I move that Taylor June Veronica Morgan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Taylor June Veronica Morgan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mayor Natalia Maria Oberek.
May it please the court, I move that Mayor Natalia Maria Obriek be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mayor Natalia Maria Oberick be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah Ann Palmer.
May it please the court, I move that Sarah Ann Palmer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarah Ann Palmer be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Louisa Emily Pittman.
May it please the court, I move that Louisa Emily Pittman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Louisa Emily Pittman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Harmony Pratsas.
May it please the court, I move that Harmony Pratsas be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Harmony Pratsas be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mark Michael Ryan.
May it please the court, I move that Mark Michael Ryan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mark Michael Ryan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sandeep Singh.
May it please the court, I move that Sandeep Singh be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sandeep Singh be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tamara Stevanovic.
May it please the court, I move that Tamara Stevanovic be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tamara Stevanovic be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah Taheri.
May it please the court, I move that Sarah Taheri be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarah Taheri be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Olivia Louise Taylor.
May it please the court, I move that Olivia Louise Taylor be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Olivia Louise Taylor be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kennedy Reese Carrick Taylor Lewison.
May it please the court, I move that Kennedy Reese Carrick Taylor Lewison be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kennedy Reese Carrick Taylor Lewison be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tiffany Trong.
May it please the court, I move that Tiffany Trong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tiffany Trong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Abigail Doreen Ward.
May it please the court, I move that Abigail Doreen Ward be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Abigail Doreen Ward be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christina Zhang.
May it please the court, I move that Christina Zhang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Christina Zhang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jessica Zhang.
May it please the court, I move that Jessica Zhang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jessica Zhang be admitted as a lawyer of this court. Thank you, Registrar. Now that the formal moving of lawyers has ended, I'd like to warmly welcome you to this virtual admission ceremony at the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today to my right is Justice Davies, who is a judge of the Common Law Division, and to my left, Justice Smith, who is an acting judge of that division. Together, we constitute the court that has, in the exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you to practice. As we gather for this celebration, physically dispersed, I'd like to begin by recognising the various traditional lands on which we meet. This ceremony is streamed from the Banco Court, which is located on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I acknowledge these traditional custodians and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We recognise the long-standing and enduring customs and traditions of Australia's First Nations and acknowledge with deep regret the role our legal system has had in perpetrating many injustices against Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. To all the new lawyers watching today, welcome to the legal profession. This admission ceremony is probably different to what you were expecting, but these are challenging times when you're unable to be admitted in person. However, your admission, conducted remotely, reflects the agility and adaptability which you'll need to possess as lawyers in an age of great change. This is a time for celebration. You've all worked extremely hard to get to this point, through caffeine-fuelled nights and obscure problem questions, reading countless wafer-thin pages of textbook, and more cases than you could hope to remember. You have entered the world of eggshell skulls, encountered the mysterious reasonable person, and have understood that the Constitution consists of much more than the vibe of the thing. In becoming a lawyer, you have joined a centuries-old profession with ancient origins. The custom of advocates swearing an admissions oath dates back to the 12th century. This court first admitted lawyers to practice in 1824, and by 1830 the names of lawyers were entered onto rolls in this state. You have now become part of this tradition almost 200 years later. Perhaps for some of you, that's how long it feels that you've been studying. For many of you, the support of your family and friends has been invaluable. No doubt, they have also been often on the receiving end of your finely polished skills of argument and persuasion. I do hope you take the time to thank them today. The oath or affirmation you have made before this ceremony is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, or an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. It is in acknowledgement of this weighty responsibility that we observe today's unique formalities, including the moving of lawyers and our somewhat unusual choice of fashion. On a lighter note, on one occasion some years ago, I recall a young member of the audience asked if we were doing Santa photos after the ceremony. I was very sorry to disappoint. However, although we mark this occasion with formality and tradition, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. You'll be unsurprised to hear that over the past year and a half, we've had to adapt quite a bit, as you see today. COVID-19 has meant a rapid shift to the increased use of virtual courtroom setups and technology to ensure access to justice continues in the midst of a pandemic. Things almost don't always go smoothly, as those with me on the bench can undoubtedly attest to. There have been real difficulties to grapple with in terms of open justice, effective communication, and fairness to participants, and occasionally a lawyer might even get stuck behind a Zoom kitten filter. But for all the challenges we are facing, the impetus is greater than ever before for us to prioritise flexibility and accessibility. Better use of technology and increased working from home arrangements have profound implications for how our legal system interacts with many people, including those in rural and remote areas, those with a disability, medical conditions, or carers' responsibilities. As the newest members of the profession, you're at the forefront of innovation in the law and have a unique opportunity to see through changes so that justice is done openly and equitably. There are, of course, other changes that deserve attention. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, we encounter the duality that we have come very far and that much still needs to be done. Though women were originally not permitted to practice, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all the solicitors with a practising certificate in this state and currently make up 63% of solicitors under the age of 30. Women occupy many of the most senior positions in the law, including, of course, the Chief Justice of Australia. However, women continue to face challenges of representation, including amongst judges of this court and, for example, amongst barristers in speaking roles before the High Court. On the other hand, it is heartening to see that the local court of New South Wales has almost achieved gender parity amongst magistrates. But we must not be complacent about these issues. There are other noticeable diversity concerns that we must face head-on. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and people from diverse cultural backgrounds continue to be alarmingly underrepresented in the legal profession, and particularly within the judiciary and the ranks of senior counsel. We must also be alert to barriers to the profession for people from less privileged backgrounds. Law should not be a profession for the wealthy, and the idea that students may be dissuaded from studying law by the cost of a law degree, which this year has again increased, or because of other systemic issues, is troubling. Not just this, but we'll only achieve a truly diverse profession when barriers to advancement are broken down and people from different backgrounds are properly supported in a collegiate and inclusive environment free from harassment and discrimination. These issues are fundamental to a just and transparent legal system and to the legitimacy of the rule of law. We need diverse representation amongst advocates and judges so that all people who become involved in our justice system can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. Despite these challenges, there is real scope for change. There is far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than those who have been around for as long as me. You are in a unique position as new lawyers when you're entering the profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are having an impact for good. You are being heard and taken seriously when you agitate to correct injustices, whether it be speaking out about unsustainable working cultures, sexual harassment or bullying within the profession, unfair laws, or systemic failings affecting our society's most vulnerable. I urge you to continue to speak up for these things. They do matter. You are the future of the profession and will steer the direction it will take. As a lawyer, you will also need to make difficult ethical decisions at times. With regards to our personal characteristics, lawyers have been the butt of jokes for centuries. Some would say there are, of course, only a few lawyer jokes, the rest are true stories. But jokes aside, you must use the tools you have developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court, the administration of justice, and the other ethical duties that you must uphold. Now that you are lawyers, you can get paid to argue instead of just arguing for free. Of course, there is a lot more to it than that. You're an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate for the marginalised. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you are not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum as a series of abstract concepts, but law as it applies to people's lives. For this reason, you must strive to deliver legal services competently and fearlessly, with courtesy and integrity. Justice Gageler, before he was a High Court judge, once said, "You must be prepared to give the same answer to the same questions for the same reasons, no matter who asks the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur." This is foundational to upholding the rule of law. For those of you who will practice law, the way you communicate information to others will have profound consequences for access to justice. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible. One of your roles as a lawyer will be to make law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, and sometimes both. One thing you will regrettably strike throughout your career is legislation which seems carefully crafted with the sole object of ensuring that no one can understand it. Your task is not just to understand it, but to explain it clearly to those whose rights and interests are affected by it. As lawyers, we must not keep the law locked up as something knowable only to us. A client reading your advice should be empowered to understand your meaning, not mystified and confused. So be clear and concise in your writing and your speaking. Plain English is powerful. Consider, do I really need to say aforementioned or herewith? Must I sprinkle in that Latin phrase? Should I really use double negatives, tautologies and wordy clauses that take up a whole page? I would suggest to you the answer to these questions is obviously no. The best advocates can make their point simply and succinctly. Now, some of the most experienced lawyers and judges could from time to time use their reminder. Don't pick up their bad habits. I also want to speak about failure. I'd not be surprised if there are quite a few overachievers and perfectionists watching this live stream today. Even so, at various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. When you do make mistakes, your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means that you must take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from those errors. What is important is that you try not to make the same mistake twice. I myself have made many mistakes over the years, far too many to remember. Even as Chief Justice, my decisions have on occasions been successfully appealed to the High Court. At this point, I'm probably obliged to tell you that what I do is remind myself through gritted teeth that the High Court is never wrong. But I console myself that from time to time, even the High Court overrules its own decisions. Finally, I want to emphasise that your mental health is extremely important. This may sound unexpected at this type of ceremony, but the law is not everything. There may be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out or distressed. If you do, you should not be afraid to seek professional help or take a step back when you need to. Also remember that the law is a collegiate profession and in times of difficulty, the support of your peers will prove invaluable. I found that out throughout my career. Although you might find it hard to believe, I was admitted quite a long time ago. I lost my first case and I lost many more after that. But throughout my 35 years in practice, I could always count on the other barristers in my chambers to share my disappointment at the unfairness of the verdict, the sly tactics of opposing counsel, and most often, I regret to say, the obtuseness of the judge or judges before whom I was appearing. I hasten to add I don't include either of my fellow judges on the bench with me today in that comment. On behalf of all the judges of the Supreme Court, and particularly those sitting with me today, can I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The Court will now adjourn.
You'll be here this afternoon. We've got another one at 4:30.